Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. The Red Sox got swept by the Rays. I know we've been saying happy flight, happy podcast. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm happy. Definitely not happy. But I don't give a fuck. Like I definitely don't fucking care that they got swept by the Rays. Like, let's be honest. I know that there are, maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's a maturity thing. I'm sure that there are some younger Red Sox fans that are like, I'm sad that they got swept by the Rays. Who gives a shit? Like, the season's over. We're on to 2023. The Triston Casas big league debut was basically day one of starting to look forward to 2023. Unless the Red Sox ran the table, who really gives a flying fuck what they do for the rest of September? I don't. Like, I'm based like this. We're in auditions. This is audition mode right now. I think one of the names that comes to mind, Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi's been throwing bullpens. And when he's ready to come back, if he's ready to come back, we'll see what he looks like. That's an audition in free agency. Nick Pivetta, tonight, pretty good audition for the club next year. Triston Casas, seeing this infield together. By the way, make no mistake about it, the Red Sox have not been shut out since May 30th.
Correct.
May 30th. No Xander, no Devers in the lineup tonight. You got shut out. So let's maybe pay those guys so that we don't continue with the trend of not having Xander and Devers in the lineup. I don't know. Like, Jake, I feel like you're a pretty good barometer to ask this question to. Did you feel anything at all? Like, after getting swept by the Rays?
I think this is the first time this season where I really didn't feel anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the most recent episode, we talked ourselves into thinking that there's a path that, you 4-game sweep the Texas Rangers. Casas gets called up. You're like, okay. Like, at least the offense is doing something. One of the best, if not the best offense in the league since what? The trade deadline?
Would you like the new playoff odds, Jared?
You know what I like is that new microphone you got.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Sounds pretty great. It's a great
Shout
microphone.
out to DraftKings taking care of me.
Did they really?
They did. Fully taken care of. Shout out. Jake facilitating everything.
That's pretty solid. Good for you.
Yeah. We're out here. But I saw enough people complaining about the mic and the screaming. I'm sorry for getting excited. Pete brings that out of me. Jared, your Rich Hill take. We're not going to go back to that.
We can revisit it. Also, wait.
It's addressed.
We can revisit it. Are we going to get Joey a new mic? His fucking mic sucks, Jake.
Yeah, it got delivered yesterday.
Oh, hell yeah. That's going to be awesome. His mic fucking sucks. You thought yours was bad?
Worse.
Joey's was like, it was basically like a fucking tin can with a piece of string hanging out of it. Anyways, continue.
But yeah, so baseball reference. And, this was going into today. Obviously, they don't update right after the game. 0.2%. A little more brighter on Fangraph side, 0.4%.
So not zero.
No, and then 538 was just below 1%. They don't even bother giving you a decimal.
We went from the 2% to the 0.2%.
Yes.
Damn.
Honestly, I don't feel anything after this, but I am more upset that it appears the Yankees are going to win 3 straight here. Like, so that the Rays didn't make up any ground. Like, if we're going to get swept, that's fine. But I would prefer that we get swept in service of fucking up the Yankees' day.
Well, I mean, it keeps them close, at least. Keeps them in striking distance with 4 weeks to go. Yeah, I it is what it is at this point. I think it would be much more entertaining. Like, I think it would be a happy pod if if, the Yankees had gotten swept and then you got swept by Tampa, and now Tampa is what? That would have put them within 2? Yeah. Do they play each other down the stretch? They must.
They have to.
Yeah, they must. But
good news.
What?
Starting the 9th, Friday through Sunday.
This weekend.
Yep.
This weekend, the Rays play the Yankees.
Oh, yeah. And
At
then
Yankee Stadium.
We get the Yankees right after that. So,
yeah.
We gone for 2?
Yeah. That'd be nice if they got swept by the Rays and then the Red Sox kick the shit out of them in 2 straight games. What a time that would be.
Mm-hmm. You said you wanted to go to those games, right, Peter?
I am going to go to at least the Tuesday. Hopefully the Wednesday. I would like to go to both those, yeah.
Be nice to knock some balls out of the hopper.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the main focal point here has to be the Red Sox extending Kiké Hernandez, because there's a lot to take out of that. There's a lot to kind of take out of that. Number one, the Red Sox re-signing Kiké Hernandez. If you missed this, 1 year, $10 million. 1 year, $10 million to return in 2023. And Maz was hammering this point home big time, that the center field market is absolute garbage. So the big thing that came out of this news was Chaim Bloom essentially assuring Kiké, like, hey, the Red Sox next year, direct quote, are going to be way better. Not just better. Hey, we're going to be better than we were last year. The quote was way better. And then Kiké had a quote himself where I'm paraphrasing. I don't quite remember what he said, the exact words, but he said something to the effect of, hopefully this is like the first in like a line of things that the Red Sox are going to do. And that basically meant like, hey, fucking sign Devers, sign Xander. Like, let's figure this shit out. And then we go from there. There was like a caller that called in tonight. It was either a caller or an email. I can't remember, or both. Someone that called up and was like, hey, don't you think that this is kind of like the precursor to letting Xander go? Because now, if you get Kiké, like, you can move Story back to short, and then they're putting Kiké at second base. And I was like, you need to lay off the weed, because like, I think in terms of outfield help, like that's where he's going to go. Like, you think the Red Sox are like, hey, everything we saw from Jarren Duran this year, that means he's our guy. Like, that's our guy in center field moving forward. No.
Like, when it comes to Kiké, like, people don't realize it, and everything he went through this year with like that hematoma that was, the size of a baseball, and how painful all that stuff was. Like, if you go back, and it's kind of buried in an Alex Spear column, he said it was the most painful and like traumatic thing he's ever gone through. He passed out twice while they were draining that thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they had to drain this baseball-sized hematoma out of the like bottom or his lower spine. It was part of the, he had the hip flexor thing going on all year as well. But
what
this was like
fuck?
Yeah, this was the core muscle thing. And he was like, the doctor told me when he did it, we usually put people underneath for this. They never put him underneath for it. He passed out twice. Like, that's how painful and significant it was. Uke did a good job talking about it on the broadcast today. Just saying, how Kiké just didn't look like himself from really the start of the season. He's been hurt with his hip flexor going back to the postseason last year. And, you still look at it. What he did in center field last year, 98th percentile in outfield jump, 100th percentile in 2021, 89th percentile in outs above average in 2021. Like, we're talking about elite center field defense. This is not something you're going to find. Listen, Brandon Nimmo has had a very good year all the way around. He's played like 128 games this year, and it's his second most games ever played going back to 2016.
Kiké was a 5-win player last year.
Yeah, 4th on the team in WAR, according to Fangraphs, at 4.1.
I mean, Baseball Reference had him at 4.9.
So there you go. The only guys that were ahead of him, Nate, Xander, and Devers. So I know people can go and say, well, look at Kiké this year. He kind of turned back into this, subpar player. He wasn't healthy. And since he's come back, he looks a lot more like Kiké. 2 hits tonight, looking pretty good out there. You're not going to find a better option than this in center field on this market. Like the next thing you're talking is Kevin Kiermaier, which that's basically Jackie Bradley Jr.
And he's
like a little bit better. Exactly. And he's getting up there. Why not bring someone back in Kiké who great clubhouse guy, still gives you that.
Like he's a spark plug. He's got the intangibles. He's a character guy, clubhouse guy, intangibles guy. Everybody loves Kiké.
And like, even if something happens, it's the versatility. Xander goes down. Oh, hey, like we have another way we can kind of piece this roster together. You're just not going to find that in a lot of other places. Proven winner. The dude hit 408 in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I kind of forget that. Like the more removed that we get from the postseason last year, obviously any postseason run that doesn't end in a championship, you start to forget the storylines and the narratives, and you remember the big moments. Like I remember like the Schwarber Grand Slam. Pretty much it. I remember like that as far as like standout moments. Like I remember like the Schwarber Grand Slam. But Kiké just went off. Like that dude was like,
last year's
hey,
team
hop
feels
on
like
my
a
back.
decade ago.
Yeah. It does not, like last year doesn't feel like last year.
Hell no.
Like that playoff run does not feel like last October. That feels like 3 Octobers ago.
I'll be honest, the amount of times I go back and watch that little clip that's made of, some of the high moments with Dancing on My Own underneath, it legit feels like you're watching something from 5 or 6. And I'll just sit there sometimes and let it repeat.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 times. I was like, as much fun as I was having, I don't feel like you ever actually appreciate it as much until you're dealing with what we dealt with the last couple days or really
like,
this season.
If you go back and watch highlights from 2021, it'll trick your brain into thinking that team won the World Series. Like
in my heart, they did.
Yeah, like that's how likable that team was. Like they had moments. They had a theme. Like all the great championship teams in Boston always have some sort of theme. It's like, oh yeah,
that team felt like it was sort of destined to at least make it to the World Series. So
right.
like I was stunned when they didn't.
Yeah, I thought that
one.
Like,
even
that
2018. 2018 was only fucking like 4 years ago, and that feels like that team was a fucking century ago. I'm sure it doesn't help that like a bunch of those guys just aren't here anymore. But that was 4 years ago.
Even like thinking like next year is going to be 10 years to 2013. Like it's going to be a decade since the 2013 World Series, a decade since we saw baby Bogarts come up and like be a part of that playoff team. Like my brain can't even comprehend those kind of things anymore.
I mean, like it also doesn't fucking help that like a 2-year span in those 4 years felt like a decade. Like time got so fucked. Time got so fucked up for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So like that 2018 team really does feel like it was like a decade ago.
I can't even think about it. I mean, 2013 being 10 years ago, like that bugs me out big time. Just like I can still put myself in 2013. Like I was there for a lot of that. Like my life was so different in 2013. It was nothing like what it is now. Nothing.
I think, Jared, the other day on Twitter, I was looking for like 2013 clips and I saw that clip of you watching the ALDS, I think.
Yeah.
And you're just like going nuts watching it. And I was like, holy shit, man. Like I remember seeing that clip back then and I was like, oh, like this is crazy 10 years fucking later.
Yeah, that was during the division series.
That was what? Sox Base?
Yeah. Yeah. I was literally in my childhood bedroom watching, I think it was game 3 of the division series. It was the game that they lost. It was the game that the Rays like hit like a walk-off home run. It's like off of Koji of all fucking people that year. And I'm just like, I can't sit still going nuts. And the girl that I was dating was just like taking like that was like our first postseason together. So she was just like filming me like a goddamn zoo animal. She's like, I don't know what this is all about. 13. I mean, that's crazy to me that was 10 years ago. 18 being 4 years, like that feels right. But at the same time, I go back and like I actually did it today because I was getting my hair cut and I was explaining to the girl that does my hair. I was like, yeah, like sometimes like she's like, what do you guys have coming up? I was like, well, we're doing this like September 23rd. Like we got this like watch party. And she's like a live show. And I was like, no, it's not quite like a live show. It's like more like a meet and greet type deal, just like hanging out watching the game. And she's like, but like you've like, what bar is it at? I was like, Cask and Flagon. She was like, have you ever done anything there before? So I took out my phone and I scrolled to like the video of the first ever Section 10 live show, which was at the Cask. And then like I'm showing her this video. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I fucking missed that shit. Like that was like out of all the things that we do, like we do videos, we do podcasts and, you know, TV stuff, radio stuff, like all kinds of stuff. Like that's why it's so hard to describe the job. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for work? I'm like, a bunch of shit. Like I do a ton of different stuff. Like none of it's really like a lot of it's the same, but it's all pretty different. But the thing that I think I love doing the most is the live shows in front of like a Section 10 audience. Like they're fucking nuts. And we've only really done ever like 4 or 5 of them ever. But the ones that we have done, the people have come out and it's fucking nuts. Like I always compare it to like they're like mini Motley Crue concerts. Like people fucking know the words to the ad reads. Like I would be doing off the top of my head, I like know the Sox signatures ad read and I would just drop it in there and like people would sing the fucking ad deal back to you in the crowd. And like, I just found out recently, like Jake was at the Kowloon live show last year.
Yeah, I feel like I told you that pretty late into the game.
Yeah, you didn't even tell me.
He stalked his way into the fucking mix and then was like, oh
Respect.
yeah, by the way.
Yeah, we like I found this out when we were in Chicago. I was like out with like a bunch of his friends for his birthday. And they were like, yeah, like Jake didn't want to say anything, but he actually met you in LA during the World Series in 2018. Like he met you way before he was like on the show. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, he was at the live show at Kowloon last summer too. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like Jake just like never said anything. Like that's that. So was that the only live show that you've ever been to, Jake?
I went to a watch party at Game On before, but I think that was the only legit live show I've been to.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, all we need is the Red Sox to be good. If the Red Sox are good, we can have the live shows and they're a good fucking time. But I mean, Jesus Christ, it was something. It was something. So that's my goal. And it sucks that I can't personally do anything about that. There's nothing that I can do to make the Red Sox better. I just have to sit here and take Chaim Bloom at his word that Kiké said he promised him the Red Sox will be way better in 2023. Way better. I don't know how you can promise that, but I mean, Kiké, I think that they've kind of had each other by the balls in a way where, you know, Kiké loves Cora and the Red Sox were the first team to be like, hey man, like we'll play you every day. Like the Dodgers didn't play you every day. We'll give you a spot to play every single day. And surely there are going to be other teams that would have signed Kiké and given him a chance to play every day. But there has to be some sort of like, I guess, loyalty factor to Cora. And he said his family loved Boston and the somewhat close proximity to Puerto Rico.
Can't overestimate the importance of just having your shit here too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck.
Moving is the worst.
The worst.
Even if you're rich and you've got people to do that shit for you, it still fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, It's weird. Like I've moved probably 4 times in like the last 5 years.
Yeah, same.
And I've had movers every time. So I haven't had to deal with the bullshit of my own moves. But anytime that my friends move, they're like, hey, can you help? So I haven't had to deal with the bullshit of my own moves. But when anyone else moves, like, sure. Yeah. Like I literally, like, one of my friends moved last weekend. I had to like, lift a fucking couch up 4 flights of stairs and then build a bed with an Allen wrench.
Fucking worst. I've moved like 4 times in the past 5 years too. Maybe more, like 5 times in the past 5 years. And I've never gotten movers. And it's just every time I'm like, I'm going to get movers next time. And I never do it.
What do? You use a fucking U-Haul?
No, I mean, I have a truck. So like I just make a bunch of trips.
See, this sounds like hell. I'm moving out of my like childhood home like over the next couple months right now. And it's like I've never had to pick up anything. Like we're clearing out the basement. We're clearing out the garage. I got everything in my room. I don't even know. I can't even imagine how long it's going to take. Like we've set up at least like 2 months of just straight clearing out different rooms.
You moving in with your baby girl?
I'm actually not yet. That's the next step.
Oh, she's probably pissed. She's probably pissed that you're moving out, but not in with her, right?
Listen,
no, because
that's a yes.
Not after she listened to the last podcast.
Hey.
She was like, I'm not cleaning up those fucking socks.
That's true.
Listen, that was a younger Tyler Milliken. I've matured greatly since then.
I don't think so.
There's not as much need for socks as there was back at that time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But, once it makes financial sense, that'll be the next move.
Right.
We're on the come up right now.
Makes way more financial sense.
Hey, you're saving money.
To move in with a partner. That's what I've found.
Yeah.
It's way cheaper.
Do people live in that house with you, Pete?
No. But like previously.
Oh. Can I move in that house?
Sure can.
Do you have any room?
Yeah.
Honestly, I might just like rent out a room and sleep there on Wednesdays so that I don't have to drive to Walton.
You literally could. We have an extra bedroom here.
This might actually be my new plan.
Yeah.
Just a fucking name redacted podcast room with like bunk beds.
Yeah. You have a Sports Hub trap house.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Adam Jones was here today.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
At your place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They came over the movie thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
We did a podcast and he was like, this is great. He hung out at my place for like a few hours before heading into work.
I will say, I don't agree with a single thing Jones says, especially about the Red Sox. Not a single damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he is my
intention.
favorite. Of course, he is my favorite personality at the Sports Hub.
He's so
no one
good
is better at being the villain. Nobody is better than him.
Oh, he loves it.
The vulture.
Yeah. He loves being the bad guy, which I have to respect.
Yeah. During 2021, when I was, pushing my Chaim Bloom narratives and everything, he would wait because I used to do the overnights back then. So I'd come in and he was always working up until midnight, and he would wait until the last segment every single night. If the Red Sox got shit on the night, Barnes got taken out against the Blue Jays and walked off and it was hell. He was waiting for me the minute I came in that night so he could do 15 minutes just railing on me every single time.
Did he at least invite you on the air for this, or did he just want to accost you through the glass?
Oh, no. I'd get on the road at 11 p.m. and he'd taunt me each segment, 11:30 or 11:15, 11:30. I'd get there at 11:45 and then I'd sit down for the last 15 and he'd do it to my face.
We need to get Jones back on. I feel like we had him on in 2015, Pete.
I don't remember.
I think he's definitely been on.
If we did, it wasn't. I don't think it was when I was on the show, or
no, it was like a phoner, I think.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say this is the first time I met him in person.
Yeah, I think it was a phoner, but I'm quite positive that we had him on the podcast.
It makes sense. I mean, we went on a tear with fucking Boston media personalities.
Yeah,
having fucking like Kirkman in my basement.
That's wild. That knowing Kirk now,
he would absolutely never come to my house.
He came to your basement.
Yeah, that is insane.
That just seems like the last thing in the world that Kirk would agree to do.
If you even propose that to him at this point, he would like fucking laugh you all the way out of the country.
I don't. If
Not you,
I asked
me.
him, I think if I asked Kirk to come to my apartment to do a podcast, he'd be here in 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he'd laugh me all the way out of the country.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I think the days of Kirk making the trek to Waltham, Massachusetts to do a podcast in your basement are over. But I don't know. There's the forbidden door right now.
The basement's getting redone, by the way. Alan Craig Studios formerly Alan Craig Studios under renovation with the intention of turning it back into a partial studio.
Didn't you turn it into like a diner set?
Yeah, that was for brunch for a little bit.
And then you got rid of that?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's still like the bones of that it still exists downstairs, but now it's like essentially just storage.
Yeah, you need to fix that.
Yeah.
I think we're working on the studio here soon. I told DraftKings, I was like, we need to fire this bad Larry up for the playoffs. Like I need like a nice little set going on over here. And I think that's the plan. I think I have an idea of what I want. And I think we're going to be executing that at some point. Because I have a few different ideas for off-season content. I actually texted Jake about one of the ideas today. That wasn't even my idea. It was just a Twitter suggestion. But I was like, honestly, this is a great idea. I think it'd be very funny. The fucking hiccup, man. One per show. One per
Consistent.
show. 2003 Saugus Little League World Series. Where are they now? We had Peter. We have a mutual friend that was on that team.
We sure
and
do.
He was the first person that I texted. And he definitely wants it to happen.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he was a Saugus mall cop that he has a video for one of the 2003, and this is all going to be included if we do this documentary. I might even save this story. Yeah, I might save this story. But it's a very funny, sounds fake, but I know that it's real because I've seen it story. He's actually been on this podcast before. I think he came on with me, Coley, and Steve once in like 2018.
Who?
I forget why.
Are we like the person that we both know?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I forget why, but he came on really. He thought that like he didn't realize that he was being recorded either. Yeah, he came on, and I know I was sitting at my desk in New York City. So, but yeah, he's got some.
I have
good
a funny story about him from like the past year. When I went to LA and I was a guest of the LA Kings at a game, he happened to be at the same game, and he came down to visit me in the section that I was in, and he didn't realize that it was like the players, family, and friends section, and was sitting behind like the families of all the LA Kings. And as soon as he sits down, is just like, fuck you, player X and Y, and just screaming, and like all the wives just turn around and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? And I was like, dude, you can't be doing that. Like I was like, it's on me that I didn't tell you, but like you didn't even give me a fucking second to tell you before you, like after you sat down. You immediately started just screaming at players. And he got kicked out of the section.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
No,
he's been kicked out of. That's not his first time getting kicked out of something. It won't be his last.
No.
But football fans, the first Sunday of the NFL season is here. Is it really this Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Sure
this
is.
Sunday's week 1. Who the Patriots playing? The Dolphins.
Yep.
Correct. NFL season opens today.
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Who's playing Thursday Night Football?
Jake.
No one knows.
Bills, Rams.
Bills, Rams. I just saw Mitch Trubisky, QB1 for the Steelers.
I'm for that. I like Mitch Trubisky. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, me too. He seems like a good guy.
For real.
I'm
He's
more
a
of a
former
Kenny Pickett
Nickelodeon
guy.
MVP.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Mitch Trubisky. You do that. The first Sunday of the NFL season is here. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new customers a can't-miss offer to celebrate the return of the NFL season. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. And as an added bonus for week 1, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet on an NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. That seems like an impossible to lose deal, I guess. Unless your team sucks. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's promo code Jared only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. Christian... why did I say Christian? Triston Casas. I was thinking of Christian Yelich, who hit a 499-foot home run the other night, which is awesome. That must not feel like anything. If you hit a home run 499 feet, that must just feel like swinging through the air. Which, by the way, Jake, that virtual reality thing that I got, is that for this show or Baseball's Dead?
I think it's for both, like over the next couple months.
Oh. You ever see that thing on TikTok where you have like the fucking virtual reality goggles and then it gives you like the bat and shit?
Oh my God. Is it like actually legit?
Yes.
Oh,
That showed up. I had a package yesterday. I'm walking to go get my coffee and girl at the desk is like, you have a package. And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, no, you do. I was like, I didn't order anything. She's like, well, here it is. She hands it to me. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I walk upstairs, open it up. There it is. I get the fucking goggles. I get the little sticks. And then it's got an attachment to make a bat out of it. So I'm probably going to be in the big leagues, dude. I don't know how long I'm going to be. Actually, you know what? I would still do the podcast if I was in the big leagues. I would just do once a week instead of twice a week. I wouldn't want to give that up. But I mean, if I'm just like training my eye to be able to catch up to a 99 mile an hour fastball with some arm side run on it, then next thing you know, I'm going to be in the big leagues. So
I saw it was Blaze Jordan. He's like super into this stuff. Like I've seen him do a bunch of the commercials and stuff, and he's posted all on YouTube.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys, like that's, you know, there's drive line and everything for pitchers. It feels like that's like the next thing for hitters.
Yeah, I love it. And apparently we're going to be doing some ads for them. And this sounds like a free ad, but I mean, you're going to send me the fucking thing. You know how many times that we've done an ad read in like the last 8 years where it's like, hey, you get this ad read and they're going to tell you to use it. And like, well, I need it. I'm not one of those guys. I will tell you right now that I'm caught up as of me saying this. I don't think I've ever done an ad read for something that I didn't actually try or use because I refuse to be that person. So anytime that there's been, actually, you know what? That's what got me like a free fucking Sonos. My play bass, my surround sound, and my subwoofer. We were doing ad reads for them back in like 2017. And I was like, dude, I can't talk about how awesome this sound is unless I can hear this fucking sound. You know what I mean? So they hooked it up. Shout out to Sonos.
I'll usually
for that.
try.
I still have all that stuff.
Anything that gets sent to me for free. There was one exception. There was one time like this company sent me. Have you ever heard of Kratom?
No.
They sent me Kratom, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I have no idea what this is, and I Googled it, and it was like, "Yeah, it's like a heroin substitute." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, it's legitimately like an opioid substitute.
Why would that be legal?
It shouldn't be.
Is this a way to like legally wean off of it?
Maybe
it's like how you get into it.
I've heard other podcasts do the read for this company that sent me this shit, and they were like, "Yeah, this is like heroin," and they were like, "We tried it." Like one of the guys was like, "I threw up after taking it," and he was like, "I threw up, and it was like black, like I had jet black puke after I took this," and like he said that in the middle of the read, which was so fucking funny. It's like, way to sell this shit. But yeah, I like refused to try it, and I refused to do the read for it. I was like, I'm not doing this.
That's wild.
I still have it here. Should I do it during the episode?
I typed in kratom withdrawal, and it gave me the national helpline. This is the first thing that popped up at the very top.
Yeah.
Help is available. Speak with someone today.
Jesus Christ.
I just Googled it. I just Googled kratom. The first result is kratom. Unsafe and ineffective.
Definitely unsafe.
Yeah.
Anything that's like a heroin substitute, I feel like that's probably, you probably want to like skip that.
It can't be cheaper, so what's the point of it?
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely cheaper because it was free when they sent it to me.
Did you get your cigs, Pete?
I didn't. I actually got an email yesterday. I ordered my cigs, and they emailed me, and they were like, "Yeah, we're out of the kind that you ordered. We can replace it with this kind." So I said yes, and they're sending me the ones that you have.
We should smoke them together.
Hell yeah.
I just got a really funny DM that it's going to sound like a humble brag, but it's just actually really funny. Jake actually texted us today about the World Baseball Classic in Miami. And so we're going to be there. I don't think that we made that like public or anything. But I have you seen the video blooper, the Braves, the Braves mascot playing football against like a bunch of like children. And he's just like fucking throwing like stiff arms and tackling kids and everything. Yeah. So I tweeted that out and said the Braves since June 1st, because they've had the best record in baseball since then. And so like, this video of blooper just like fucking dominating and everything. I tweeted that out 57 minutes ago. And then I just got this DM on Twitter from a woman who sent me that tweet of blooper dominating on the football field. And she goes on to say, what I want you to do to my pussy when you're in Miami for the World Baseball Classic.
Jesus Christ.
What does that even mean?
He wants the stiff arm.
I don't. What does that mean, Pete? That's fucking.
You can't deliver?
It means she wants you to fist her.
I don't think that's what that means. Do you think that that's what that means?
No, I think she just means she just wants you to beat it up.
First of all, and Jake can attest to this, I'm a man of Christ, so nothing will be happening to that.
If you don't think that Jesus fucked, you're out of control.
He might have.
He absolutely fucked.
Definitely.
Maybe. I mean, he had abs for days.
That's what I'm saying.
The temptation was definitely there.
Jesus fucked for sure.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Honestly, that's what I'm arriving on is how are you gonna take a video of a mascot throwing stiff arms on a football field and say, do that to my vagina?
Just respond and just say you need Jesus.
That's what Jesus would do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. You're not wrong. Anyways, the Red Sox, right?
He would
Triston Casas. Casas.
God. Listen, we have to just like put this to bed.
It bothers me. It really does bother me.
Triston Casas sounds way better than Triston Casas. Like you have to like try to say Casas.
I have a mental gymnastic I do with myself now because Beetle has a very big thing about this. So Triston Casas, right? Christian Casas is another Red Sox prospect, much lower. But every time I think of Triston Casas, I think of him, and then I pronounce the name like that, and I just picture it with a K. that's my way to pronounce it right, or at least close to right every single time.
No, this is a case where majority rules and everybody is going to mispronounce it forever, and he's just going to have to accept it, and that's his name now.
You know what? You know what it reminds me of, and why it pisses me off is it's like you sound like a fucking asshole if you call a vase a vase.
A vase, yeah.
A vase.
A vase.
Like that's what it sounds like. It's like. It's like most people will be like, yeah, that's Triston Casas. And they're like, actually, it's Casas. Like, no.
Yeah, it sounds like you're mocking somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, Triston Casas.
Oh, you know what? Show meme. We got to do the Winnie the Pooh meme where he's dressed normally and it's Triston Casas. And then it's Winnie the Pooh wearing the tuxedo with the monocle and it's Triston Casas.
Casas. The biggest story coming into this podcast, I can't believe that I just completely forgot about it. That fucking guy that was holding the ball hostage.
Jordan Brazier.
And I don't know who this woman was that was in my mentions all day today. Had to be like a friend or a relative or she had to have known him personally. But she was just defending anyone that said anything about this dude in my mentions, including coming at me. She tweeted this interview with MLB.com at me like 6,000 times today. Like, oh, you didn't read the article? Oh, you didn't read the details? Oh, blah, 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 blah. You didn't hear the story directly from him? He's actually a really great guy. I'm like,
yeah,
he sounds like a fucking ass. Like, aren't you going to apologize? Is this tweet still up? Yikes! You should delete it. Like, why is it still up there? You're really just going to like keep echoing these sentiments to the thousands of people spreading misinformation about this individual? Shut the fuck up.
There's something shady going on with this situation. This guy, not a big baseball fan, whatever it may be, drove 2.5 hours to this game. Not a Rays fan, whatever. By himself. He was at the game on Sunday as well against the Yankees. And he also went by himself and drove 2.5 hours.
And supposedly he's engaged. This woman, by the way, I don't know how credible this woman is. This woman was saying he lives in a mansion. He doesn't. You know,
he's a drug mule. That's my theory. He's a drug mule. That's the only reason to be driving 2.5 hours.
I don't know what he is.
Going to Rays games.
So he was at the Rays game wearing a Rays jersey with a Rays hat with a White Sox shirt underneath. And I can confirm that he's a baseball fan because someone sent me his full government name and then I found him on Twitter and his profile picture is him at a White Sox game wearing a White Sox shit. So I was like, okay. I don't need to, like, he just was holding onto a ball for a couple seconds. Like, we don't need to put this guy's whole life on blast.
No, I don't want to overreact, but I hope he dies.
Wow. I can't agree. I mean, I was very perturbed by this to the point where like even Red Sox fans were starting to turn on me because I was tweeting about this fucking idiot so much that they were like, dude, we get it. He sucks. I'm like, no. I don't think you get how much he sucks. So for anyone that missed the game, Triston Casas hits his first big league home run. It lands in the lap of this Ryan Brazier looking motherfucker out there. And he's wearing a Rays jersey. He's wearing a Rays hat, but he has a White Sox shirt underneath, whatever. So then they send out security or whatever. Or no, first they sent out what? Fucking DJ Kitty Cat? What the fuck's his name?
DJ Kitty.
It's DJ Kitty.
DJ Kitty goes out there.
DJ Kitty's a great mascot.
And he's not even laughing. Like, he's not even like in on the joke. Like, obviously this is a joke that the Rays mascot will be negotiating for the baseball. He's not laughing. He's just like, nope, no, not giving it up. Nope. But then they obviously send over real security. The real security goes over there and he's still negotiating with them. And I get like people tweeting me being like, well, wouldn't you do the same? Like, wouldn't you try and get something out of it? I'm just letting you know from not firsthand experience, but I know people that have caught balls that players wanted. And almost all of them have just handed the ball over and they'll hook you up after that. Like, it's not like, thanks for the ball, see you the fuck later, loser, bye. Like, they'll take the ball and like whoever hit the home run, they'll meet them after the game. Here's a signed bat. Here's a signed ball. Here's some tickets, blah, blah, blah. Like, that always happens regardless of if you hold on to it like for ransom, or if you just give it over, like whatever. So then there were people like, well, obviously, like, it's going to cost, like, he could get a fuck ton of money for that baseball. Not if it's not authenticated. Like, anyone could just take a fucking Major League Baseball, rub some dirt in it, and be like, this is Triston Casas' first big league home run. Oh, do you have any proof? No. Can I have $25,000 for it? No, you can't. So if it's not authenticated, don't mean shit. And then someone's like, well, what if he makes it into the Hall of Fame someday? That's going to be worth a lot of money. Okay, so if this guy's 40 years old, and after he plays a 20-year big league career, and then he goes into the Hall of Fame, all right, cool. When he is like 60 years old, he can make some pretty good money off an auction. That'll be great if you just want to hang on to it. Or you can just fucking give him his ball back because it's his first big league home run.
Right.
And
you could say that about fucking any player too. Like guys always get their first ball, like first home run balls, first hits, whatever. Like they always get them back. Any of those players could potentially become fucking Hall of Fame players 20 years down the line. You're going to have to wait 20 years, and you're going to have to fucking hope that there's a very small percentage that this guy gets into the Hall of Fame. Take your chances of being a good fucking human. Don't make it about yourself and give it back. The only reason to keep something hostage if it is a milestone in the moment. If it's a milestone in the moment and you have an immediate windfall, then you can hold on to it and be like, okay, I'm going to get my worth for this. But like, don't fucking keep something hostage with the hope that it becomes worth something someday.
So, Pete, like your exception is when Jeter hit his 3,000th hit. It was a home run,
like
right?
Bonds,
and that was
like
the whole fan situation.
Yeah, like if it's that situation,
I think that guy gave it right back too. The Jeter 3,000 guy, I think he had the best explanation. He was like, yeah, I caught Jeter's 3,000th home run or 3,000th hit that was a home run. Yeah, I gave it right back to him. Like, I just, that doesn't belong to me. Like that should be his. Same thing with your first home run. Someone was like, really? Like a professional athlete needs a little ball. Blah, blah, blah. It's his first home run. And most of these guys, I was going to make this point. Most of these guys will like give that to someone like a coach or their parents or whatever. Like Triston's mother, I believe, passed away and he gave the ball to his dad. Like it's like, oh, the athlete needs his ball back. It's like, no, he gave the fucking ball to his dad. So,
and his whole family was at the game. Like this was his homecoming, basically. Like in front of his
whole
family
was
friends.
at the game, aka like they had like a 30% chance of catching the ball anyway.
True.
Like, would you always just give it back no matter what? Like, if you caught, like, even say Judge, like Judge hits like a record-breaking home run at the end of the
different.
season.
62.
I think.
What do you mean that's different?
I think a first big league homer, you give that back no matter what.
No,
like
no. That's what I just said.
Records is different, like because like if you're gonna you can't sell Triston Casas' first big league home run like right now and like
that's what I just said. I said unless it's like an immediate milestone, an immediate like
if you catch Judge's 62nd, like I mean, for what I would do, I don't know, like because usually when it was like McGuire and Bonds, like leading up to it, because it was such a big deal, it would be on SportsCenter. They're like, oh, like the experts estimate that McGuire's 62nd home run ball could fetch at least $500,000 in an auction. Mm-hmm. Like if that's the case, then yeah, like for $500,000, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, yeah, I want to fucking sell it. Great, you should do that.
Right. Yeah, I think it becomes like the product of expectation, really, where it's like it's not really making it about you if you keep one of those, because I think most people would do that.
Yeah.
In the
most people would
scenario.
A record, people would sell that. A rookie's first big league homer, give it back. Like that's his fucking ball.
Yeah, right. And like that's also a case of like there's a good chance that if you catch like one of those like milestone balls, like that's life-changing money for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
for anybody.
I'm not going to judge anybody for like not wanting to give away life-changing money, especially when it's a fucking baseball. But like the guy at the Rays game with the Casas home run, like that was him just making it about himself and making a power play. And you're a dickhead. You're just being a dickhead for the sake of it.
Yeah. Like he didn't even know who Triston Casas was.
He didn't know who Rafael Devers was.
No.
When they asked him, they were like, yeah, Bogarts is going to sign something for me. And then he was like, and then another player. Another player.
This girl that was like coming at me she's like, you better retract your statement. Like he tried to give the ball back and they said to hold on to it. No, that definitely did not happen. If the team went to him and was like, hey, can we have the baseball? And he was like, yeah, I want to give it to you. They're like, whoa, don't give it to us. What? Of course. They're like, hey, it's Tristan's first big league homer. Can you give it to
all
us?
The way to the outfield to say we don't want it.
Yeah, they sent it over there just to be like, hey, keep that in your pocket. We need to negotiate what we're going to give you for that. Okay?
Hold on to that because you can fuck us with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course. Like, he even said because like fucking Jamai did the interview for Nesson, and on Nesson, this guy said, well, I just, I want to see what I could get for it. I just want to see what I could get. It's like, no, he didn't try. He wasn't like, hey, you know what? Take it. It's for congrats. Say congrats to him. And, if I can get some tickets out of this would be really cool.
You know what they should have done? They should have been like, yeah, cool. Meet us in the parking lot after the game, and there'll be a bunch of players just waiting to give you their autographs, and then Casas just beats the fuck out of him and leaves him on the pavement.
Yeah,
that should have been the deal.
Yeah,
that's the last guy who I'd want to like take something special, a moment like that. You watch him walk up. What is he, 6'5", and he's just looking down at you. It was just even the way he said it, like. Compared to the TV interview, so I listened to the interview he did with Rob Bradford. He was like, all I wanted to do was to walk down to the dugout and hand it to him. I wanted to like say, here you go, man, congratulations, and just
that's what the guy said?
Wouldn't let me. That's what he claimed. He was like,
what?
No one would let me.
Didn't even know who he was.
Exactly. He kept like Jared said, the TV interview, and then he did the Bradford interview, completely different. And then he like tried to make it like kind of like weird. He was like, yeah, like, I go to a community college in Orlando and I always wanted to be in sports management, but it didn't really work out for me. So he's like, now I want to be a gym teacher at an elementary school.
Maybe it didn't work out for him because he's a fucking dickhead.
It was weird. Very weird vibes from the internet.
Yeah, he definitely switched up because like people literally were tagging me in the Bradford interview being like, you got to retract your statement, man. Like you got to retract what you said about him. He's not a loser. He's actually seems like he's a really good guy. It's like, no, I think that he sees his phone blowing up and all the attention that's on him right now. And he's trying to make the most of this opportunity. Because the first interview that he gave was on Nesson. And he's like, yeah, like, I want to see what I can get for this ball. It's like, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Like, I'm not saying that every fan who catches a first big league homer should just hand over the ball, but like, don't be a fucking dick about it. Like, don't hold it hostage because now, like, I think someone I know caught Pedroia's 100th career homer or something like that. And they came for the ball and they were like, yeah, like, take it. And then like they got to meet Pedroia after the game and he like talked to them for like 10 minutes and like signed a bunch of shit for them, whatever. So like you make it awkward when you hold it hostage to be like, well, what's in it for me? Mm-hmm. What's in it for Brad Brazier? Like, and then he gives it back. And now, like, if you're Triston Casas, do you want to meet this guy?
No, definitely.
Hell no.
No. I want to beat the fuck out of him in the parking lot. And leave
Bogarts.
Yeah, thanks for the fucking ball, dude.
Bogarts looked disgusted signing that ball in the dugout when the TV like flipped over to him. He looked sick to his stomach.
Yeah.
I don't know. My theory is I think he did know who Triston Casas was. And I think he went Sunday hoping he'd get Peraza or something like that. Hoping maybe that first homer or something. It's just weird. There's no way someone who's not that into baseball went to 2 games within 4 days, drove 2.5 hours both times by himself, and then doesn't know who Triston Casas is. It doesn't add up. You can't be that big of a fan.
Do you think that he's one of those like fucking freak autograph hounds?
Wouldn't be surprised.
If he was, I would expect him to actually keep the ball.
Like a Zach Campbell kind of situation?
Not if you can trade it for a bunch of autographs.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what the cash value of the ball is worth more than a Bogarts and Devers signed ball and a Casas bat, which I believe is what he walked away with. And like the Rays like kicked in some tickets. So like up that value to like another $7.
I don't know. The adult autograph people freak me the fuck out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a huge memorabilia guy anymore. Like when I was in high school, my entire bedroom walls were covered in signed 8x10s by like Red Sox players. Like that was like my hobby, was like collected like Red Sox 8x10s, and then I put them going around the room in chronological order. Now if I get autographs, it's like a sentimental thing. Like I showed you like Kevin Plawecki gave me one of his bats and he like made it out to me. Travis Shaw, when he was in Milwaukee, and he wore like Mayor Ding Dong City for Players Weekend on his back. He like signed one of those jerseys and said, "Hey, thanks for the nickname." And then he like, I have shit like that.
No, like I don't think that like autographs, like adults possessing autographs, is inherently weird. I'm more talking about the autograph hounds who are adults,
that's what I mean.
Who are like
outside the hotel,
overpowering kids,
like at the red carpet.
Right.
That kid that was that grown ass man that was like jumping all over like kids or whatever. Yeah. But
and it like for the purpose of basically just like selling it. Not for any purpose for themselves. Like right. Just to make a buck and just to be a vulture. Those people are freaks.
You guys ever been to one of those like autograph conventions before? Like where you get all of them kind of huddled together trying to either collect or sell off all their different stuff?
No.
I will say in the last couple of years, I've been surrounded by a person that is very, very deep in that lane, and the lengths they will go to following people around outside of these places to their cars, knowing like hearing a conversation. Oh yeah, we're going to go grab dinner there, reserving a table at that place, making sure your table's within their vicinity, and then acting like you ran into them so you could get an autograph at that moment. I will say that is a thing you hear commonly that people do to chase down others and kind of go that route. It's
that
absurd.
Makes my spine want to just fall out of my asshole.
It's sickening. And the weird part is all of them are so proud of it, and they'll flex it all over Facebook, all over their social medias. Like this was some great treasure they just pulled off.
Yeah, fuck that guy. That guy sucked.
Yeah, that guy sucks. That and the people that were trying to defend him suck too. I don't care. That guy was like, "Why do you care so much? Why do you care about someone?" I'm like, because I mean, in the back of my head, I had a feeling. I met Casas once and we interviewed him once. Like, we're not friends. Like, I don't know him at all. I just had a feeling that he was going to be one of those guys that gives the ball to like his dad or like someone. Like, I didn't think he was going to keep the ball. I just had a feeling that he was going to give it to someone. So that's why I was like, give him the fucking ball back. Like, it's not about, oh, it's a baseball. You can just buy a baseball at the store. Not your first home run in the big leagues.
No, and when one of your big things is, oh, I'm happy I'm viral in Boston. Like now everyone knows who I am. Dude, like nobody fucking likes you.
No
like,
one likes
it's not cool that you went viral. You're just like, you're trying to turn a moment that belongs to someone else into your moment.
Which is just so cringe.
It's sad. It's like, dude, do something with yourself that gives you that exposure. Don't be the dude who's trying to take a baseball and go that route about it and pull off whatever heist he thought he was going to get. Like, you're at the Trop, dude. You're at the Trop. Grow up.
It was so cringe. Made my fucking skin crawl. Shout out to the listeners of the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. A lot of people have been sending in pictures of them drinking their Blue Moons. I saw one on the Section 10 Reddit. I had people tag me and stuff on Instagram. I get messaged on Twitter about it, and people being like, you know what? My Blue Moon intake has gone up exponentially since they came on board with the Name Redacted pod. And that means a lot. When you support our sponsors, that makes the sponsors happy. That makes DraftKings happy. That makes us happy. Everyone's happy. And I know that you'll be happy when you're drinking a Blue Moon, because how could you not be? Because baseball and beer go hand in hand. And Blue Moon is the perfect stadium companion with its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, iconic orange slice ritual, and authentic ballpark roots. In fact, Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first created at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. From the first pitch to extra innings, a Blue Moon guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience every single time. Pete, are you like a midweek beer guy?
What'd you say?
Are you a midweek beer guy, or do you leave it just for the weekends? Like when you go to that Red Sox Yankees game on Tuesday, are you going to be having Blue Moons, or are you drinking right now?
I only drink on the weekends.
Respect.
Only on the weekends.
Okay. But will you have Blue Moon at the game on Tuesday?
Of course.
But that's a Tuesday.
Yeah. Who cares? I don't like your tone.
I'm just asking. They're your rules. I'm just asking.
I don't have any rules. I like beer.
All right. Well, Blue Moon's on Tuesday it is.
Yeah.
From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian White is one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Why strike out with the same old beer when you get something that's one-of-a-kind? Best served with a signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once in a Blue Moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Break out of your same old beer slump. Blue Moon Belgian White. It's one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon Belgian White delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. Let me ask you guys a question. When Chaim Bloom tells Kiké Hernandez, I promise, Scout's honor, the Red Sox are going to be way better next year. Way better. Do you believe him? Tyler?
Yes.
You do?
I do. And I'll tell you right now, I think what he said to Kiké, I think the entire handling, reading about how, Spear went all the way back to the All-Star break saying when they first started talking, but the fact they talked at the deadline, stalled out, talked at the end of the month, started making progress, and it ultimately led to this deal, that the Red Sox upped their deal to get this done. It tells me that, yeah, if you think going over the luxury tax this year, and now they're going to take a step back from that because of how it all played out, and they don't feel like they can compete at that level, that they need to really kind of reset and go back to 2021. I don't think that's the case. I think Chaim Bloom told Kiké, hey, this year it was bad. We know it was bad. We know you want to be a winning player. That's what you care about. Don't worry. We're about to really go in this offseason. We're going to spend money. We're going to bring a lot of these guys back here. Kiké, we know how you care about Alex Cora. You won't be the only guy Alex Cora loves that's coming back. And we're going to, really try to push and compete in this division and make up for a lost year. And they should be over the luxury tax again. It looks like they're going that route and not kind of caving and trying to reset.
Well, they got a lot of money to spend. A lot. And we'll probably do we can do like a little financial breakdown at some point. I think it's a little too early for that. But at some point we can do a little financial breakdown in terms of what's coming off, what's available to spend, what is committed to 2023, especially because that's changing now that you have a Kiké Hernandez extension to talk about. Not that it's like some massive fucking contract. It's 1 year, $10 million. But the money committed to next year is it's changing for the better. So at some point we can do a little breakdown, be like, yeah, we got X amount to spend. And I think that number may surprise some people. I think that the number that the Red Sox have to spend this offseason will be a pleasant surprise, because I think we're conditioned to think that the Red Sox are like maxed out. It's like, yeah, they've spent so much stupid fucking money, dude. They got David Price's money. Like, they're still paying him. He's playing for the fucking Dodgers, dude. It's like, we can't spend any money. Like, how the fuck are we got to sign Jacob deGrom. We can't fucking sign Jacob deGrom. How the hell are we going to sign fucking, we're going to sign Bogarts and Devis, but then how the fuck are we going to sign deGrom, dude?
But like, that's the thing. And while there is, trust me, plenty of criticism for Chaim Bloom, this really is his chance to have like true money off the books and shape the roster. Do it your way. JD, like that's 20 million right there. Bogarts, 20 million right there. Half of David Price's money. That's 16 million right there. And that's not including all the little other parts, throughout the roster that are going to be moving. There's no excuse. This is truly a Chaim Bloom crafted roster coming up where he can really formulate and do different things. Really, we framed it that he's built around Dave Dombrowski's engine. That's what he's had to do since he got here. Well, guess what? Now you're building the engine, Chaim. And if the engine fails on you, well, guess what? That engine and the car are getting scrapped, maybe mid-year or by the end of the year. And that's kind of why, at least this, for the people that want to throw Chaim under the bus or whatever it may be, one good year, one bad year, ultimately in the eyes of a lot of people, this is his baby. This roster will be his baby, his creation, and there will be no running or excusing anything to blame on Dave Dombrowski anymore. It all falls on Chaim Bloom.
Peter?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of in that same camp where it's like we are transitioning into like the point where this is unquestionably going to be like the Chaim's team. And I think probably at the conclusion of this season, like the window has closed on saying it's too soon to like really blame Chaim. I was willing to give him a pass for a little bit because shit was weird for when he took over. Extenuating circumstances, some really bad luck this year, but I really do think that seat's getting pretty hot, and he's had enough time on the job to really have an impact. And if he isn't putting his fingerprints on this team heading into next year, that's on him more than it is on anybody else. So like it's his team, whether or not like he puts his fingerprints on it or not.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you guys feel better that it's September 7th? It came out the 5th or the 4th, whatever it was, and that he's already the focus is already on the offseason to the degree where he's been working on deals for the past couple months, talking with someone like Kiké. It has to go beyond him where these conversations are going. And you're telling me he went into that meeting with Kiké and he was saying things like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Xander. You don't think Kiké brought up what's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to my boy? What would that have answer had to been? It had to be a positive one for him to be like, oh, this is where I want to be, where I feel like, we're probably going to run it back for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, what was the thing that Xander said earlier in the year where he was like, I don't know if I was supposed to say that. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
The Scott Boras about being willing to have conversations?
No. I forget. Do you remember?
You're talking about when he was going to get dealt, or the idea of him being dealt at the deadline.
Yes. Yeah. When he was like, yeah, they told me I'm not going anywhere. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. I think that was another thing with Kiké. And I bet you Chaim was probably like, I really wish he didn't say that, because now if I don't fucking crush this offseason, now everyone knows that in September I promised Kiké we're gonna be way better.
But I mean, what else is he supposed to say? He didn't really strap himself into any sort of commitment to specific players or anything. He's just saying we're going to be a much better team. Which, I mean, he would say that in some context.
Way better was the quote. That's not
something that Chaim wouldn't say in a press conference.
No, but that's
we got to be
way
better next year.
I don't know. I think if you're Chaim, you could word it a lot like you did in 2021, where it's a lot of we're going to put some pieces together and we're going to find some answers and move forward here, and kind of, like Chaim said in 2021, the expectation that entire time wasn't to win a World Series. It was to build and compete. For him to kind of put that foot forward and say, trust me, we're going to be way better. We're going to take that step. I don't know. I feel like that's more than I've heard from Chaim in terms of a competitive direction.
That's also not a fucking huge leap considering the season that they've had this year. Like they're last place in the AL East. They're probably going to finish under 500. They've had shit luck the entire season. So like saying we're going to be way better is not exactly like a crazy bold or like shooting for the moon kind of thing.
It is when your best players are the players that are free agents. So you have to bring back what you just had plus more to get better.
Right.
Like,
I think it's more indicative of like where they want to be headed. And I think that's probably the best news to take out of this is that like it seems like if they're making that kind of statement behind closed doors, it means that they want to keep those guys. And that's probably the best news to come out of this. And it's kind of like what we've all wanted to hear is that like they intend to bring those guys back. Whether or not they do it is a different story, but they intend to bring them back. And like, if they do, I don't think it's a bold statement that's saying we're going to be way better. All you have to do is have semi-decent luck, have guys stay on the field, make a couple additions and make a couple splashes in the offseason, and get guys to not have like the worst years of their career. Like,
I think in the AL East where you're at though now, like this division's only going to become more of a hellhole next year with the Orioles taking. They're going to spend money. The Orioles have come out and said, "Hey, we're ready to start really."
Sure, but the Yankees are going to be trash.
Sure. They're going to have to pay that money. They don't have a choice at this point. Aaron Judge is laughing at them every single day. But, you know, the Orioles are going to supplement that roster. I think the Blue Jays, once again, disappointing. Like, they should be better than they actually are. They're going to have to figure something out there. I think for the Red Sox and Chaim, it's basically, Chaim knows the seat's hot. There's only one way to cool that seat down. It's not staying under the luxury tax. It's not half-assing it like you did this past year. You can't afford to do that anymore, or you're not going to have a job. I think he's smart enough to realize that as well. And for ownership to be, you know, the leaks that have come out from that front office, he knows there's a lot of questions. There's really only one pathway for this. And I think Kiké just signing him, listen, does it say something one way or another? Is the wording a big deal one way or the other? I don't think it's a ton, but for him to ink this deal, get it done early, it tells Chaim that, hey, I know I need to make moves now. I know I can't wait. You have all these question marks. I know I can't wait. I need to sign Kiké now because if I don't, someone else is. There's a plan in motion, and that's a direction. When have we had a direction that we've been confident in or even felt like there was one for really the last 3 or 4 months or even going back to last offseason?
It's a good point.
I just want conviction. I just want conviction from Chaim.
I want direction.
Show me that you see something you're not willing to wait anymore. You're not willing to wait out the market like you've done the last couple of years and pick up off the scrap heap, which is fine. That's one of the things you're good at. But you need to have that urgency. This felt like urgency.
What I really want to see them do this offseason is I want to see them pick a guy and I want to see them beat everybody else to that guy. I want to see them aggressively pursue somebody and open up the checkbook and like sort of flex we're the Red Sox muscle. Like they have not done that in a little bit.
Pete, do you look at like Trevor Story and you're like, yeah, that was just the guy that was left standing?
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you on that. And I think you also look back at the Trevor Story stuff, and while I'm very happy he's here, you know, we saw how his market played out. There was the COVID vaccine stuff as well, where they were basically willing to walk away if he wasn't going to agree to it.
Right. But what was the genuinely, I'm wondering, like, what was the last time the Red Sox identified a guy who was like hot on the market?
Price.
And
JD Martinez? Or would you not enough? Would you not consider that enough money?
You're competing with the fucking D-backs. Like,
and it
JD's
really wasn't even that
was
serious.
Surprisingly shitty. Like, I don't know why. Like, he obviously ended up being one of the greatest free agent signings in Red Sox history. But his market was dog shit.
He thought he was going to get more. He kept waiting and kind of got back.
He wanted double what he got, basically. Or Boris, like, basically said, like, yeah, we're going to get you 200. You got like
so the price was the last one?
Probably, yeah.
And you went so far beyond what, 20 million above what the Cardinals were willing to throw at him?
They went, I think he was going to do like 7 years, 180 with the Cardinals, and then the Red Sox for like 217.
So like, I guess like I don't mean when I say that I want to see them aggressively pursue somebody and like beat the market, doesn't necessarily mean that I want to see them throw like $200 million at a guy. I want them to identify a guy that they want, and I want them to fucking aggressively pursue that guy and give him a deal that beats everybody else. Like, I feel like most of the time recently, it's just been like short-term, low-risk bets, or it's been waiting it out and like being like, well, this guy's left available. Let's give a bunch of money to this guy. I want them to get their guy and like just know that he's the guy and be like, okay, we can pay you more than other people.
I don't know who that guy is.
Neither do I. Pete, would you consider them going all out and giving like Devers $300 million that?
No, because you're not competing with anybody.
Right. It's your
That'd
guy.
be my question. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's your
is
guy.
it just going out in the market and saying, I don't give a fuck what anybody else throws at you? You're mine.
It's number one, it's your guy, and number two, you're not getting better by doing that. You're sustaining. I want to see them get better by aggressively pursuing guys that they identify.
That's kind of what I wish they did with someone like Kevin Gausman last
Yeah.
offseason, where you needed like a dependable top-ish rotation arm that could have protected you in case Chris Sale, and instead you didn't even make a call to his agent. You just weren't involved in that market.
Yeah, I'm just sick of them being passive and then being like, well, this guy's left available. He could make us better. We'll take him.
Have conviction.
Yeah. It seems like it starts at the top, though. I think it's more.
But that's exactly why I want to see that, is because I trust Chaim wants to be much better next year. I don't know if I trust the ownership group opening up the money to do so and allow him to flex the way that he wants to flex.
Yeah. Because I'm sure. I mean, I haven't asked him. This is not like an informed opinion, but I would imagine that there were times maybe that Chaim wanted to spend but wasn't able to. Like maybe that there was a guy that he did identify. Or I mean, let's just say hypothetically it was Kevin Gausman. And it's like, yeah, like this is a guy that I'd love to have on this team. Okay. Well, we don't want to do like a 6-year deal for a pitcher in his 30s. Like maybe that's how that conversation goes with ownership. I don't know.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I would find it very hard to believe that Chaim would come here from a smaller organization that like does not have the financial flexibility and financial arm strength as the Boston Red Sox, and him come here and him not want to utilize that for guys that he really likes. Because I'm sure when you're managing the Tampa Bay Rays or any of these smaller market teams, you're like, damn, I'd love to have a guy like that, but just out of our league, out of our what we can afford. And you have to figure out ways around that. And yeah, that's where like a lot of guys separate themselves, being able to put together teams with much less money. That's really impressive. But when you get to a place like here that has the money and has the aggressiveness, or has had the aggressiveness in the past, wouldn't you want to like try that out? You would think.
You would think, especially when you look at the guy who he surrounded himself with and worked with in Tampa. It's Andrew Friedman, who created that dream in LA, where he combined that small market, strategy of building up your farm system and finding those steals, Tyler Andersons of the world that go to LA and become what they are now, but also flexing your payroll so you go and get Mookie Betts and you become this powerhouse that no one else can compete with. That's supposed to be the game plan for Chaim Bloom. That's why you go that route, so you can combine those things. And so far, like, we haven't seen it. You went barely over the luxury tax this year, and it didn't really make sense. And that's why you look at Chaim, and it's like him and Farhan Zaidi are like in the same place right now. Like, it's very similar spots where they've been able to hit by doing, the outskirt moves and picking up these different pieces, improving the farm system a bit. but still not able to use your financial muscle to be with the biggest teams in baseball. And if you can't do both, you don't survive in this market. Just ask Ben Cherington.
Yep. We'll see what happens though. I just I took a lot out of that Kiké comment. The promise that the Red Sox were going to be way better.
And like the other thing I throw in is if realistically they really wanted to treat 2023 like 2021 and they were like, oh, we'll call ownership's bluff. Let's just kind of sidestep our plan, take it back a year and we'll try to push. You could have, said, hey, we're going to have Jarren Duran next year. We're going to try it again. Maybe we'll bring someone in to like slightly compete with him. But otherwise we're going to let our young guys play and we're going to kind of depend on them. No, they're telling you we don't believe in Jarren Duran. That's what that is. And can you blame them? No. The guy's 26 years old now. He's 26 and hasn't shown anything in the majors. That tells me that they're not willing to wait around. They're willing to actually push, on the gas here to compete.
Yeah, I feel like the trade deadline was a step in that direction too, where it's like, okay, this guy can't play the position, so we're gonna get somebody that can, and like we're not gonna wait around and wait for him to figure it out and like burn the next 2 months waiting for them to figure it out. We've given them time. They haven't done it. We're going to go out and get people that can play the position.
And that's just the urgency they haven't had. There's been a lack of urgency for at least this year where you can say the bullpen blew. You did nothing to help them. First base, you just left them to hang. And then when this team was drowning, you didn't give them any boost until the trade deadline when realistically you just moved chairs around. You didn't really make the team that much better. So, or have urgency. And if Chaim Bloom doesn't have urgency, he's going to be on his way out. So, I don't know. I hope this is the kick in his ass he needed. And I hope this isn't the last extension we see over the next couple weeks. And I don't think it's crazy. I think Nate is a real possibility, depending on, like you said, Jared, how things play out over the next couple weeks with him. He threw his bullpen today, and they're going to wait to see how he responds. I think Michael Wacha is part of that conversation. That drum is getting beat heavily. I'm a little more conflicted on Michael Wacha. I'll be honest. I like Michael Wacha a lot, but some of the advanced metrics point to him not really being this good. But I don't know. You got to pick a direction. Garrett Whitlock, the guy's battling a hip issue all season, still doesn't look right out there. Decide right now. Is he starting for you next year or is he in the bullpen? Because if he's starting for you next year, you have a lot of your rotation already figured out. Like those are the questions I need. So when you get into the offseason, you're not straddling again and trying to come up with a plan on the go. It just doesn't work.
They better not fucking put him in the rotation.
Picture this next year. It's Chris Sale. It's Garrett Whitlock. It's Brian Bayo and Nick Pivetta.
No.
That's 4. But we know the Red Sox gave Whitlock a contract that was shaped for him to be a starter. If they go and get you a number 2 and you have Chris Sale insert a number 2 and then those 3, you feel like shit, Jared?
Yeah. I think that's a fucking terrible idea.
I mean, the idea of taking like one of the very few good arms out of the bullpen seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. I want Houck in the bullpen. I want Whitlock in the bullpen. I'm moving forward is if Chris Sale is going to pitch 0 innings, like I need a frontline guy. Sale's not it. If he ends up pitching, like anything that he gives you next year, this is the same thing that I fucking said this year, same thing that I said last year. Anything that Chris Sale gives you is a bonus. Anything from day one. So I'm not going to go into next season being like, all right, we can put Chris Sale as the number 1 and then behind him. Like, no, he's number 0. He's 0. If he pitches for you, awesome. That's fucking great. But like, it's not like you're going to have some sort of log jam. It's like, oh man, we have all these starters that are making 32 starts this year. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, Pivetta, up until he got the comebacker off the shin, he was the only guy that was going to give you 32 starts. That was it. Walker got hurt. Paxton got hurt. Sale got hurt. Whitlock got hurt. Everyone. Nate got hurt.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing with like Walker and Evaldi. Like, I like those guys. Do you really want those to be what's supposed to be your safety net?
No, like, that's why you need, I said this tonight, you need a guy that's going to be able to give you 28 to 30 starts. Like I need a guy that's consistent. I need a guy that's a dog. I don't care if he's a fucking 4 ERA guy. I would bring back Waka. Like I'm interested in bringing back guys like Waka, and Nate, knowing what comes with that in terms of the injury concerns. But I think after you bring back Dever, after you extend Devers and bring back Bogey, I think priority number one is you need a frontline guy, and what that's going to cost, I don't know. You have what? How many of the Red Sox top prospects would you identify as guys that are untouchable? Meyer.
We'll still consider Casas there at the moment.
Yep, that's it.
And Bayo. Those would be my only
but I don't even consider him untouchable. I really don't.
I would, because I think that's like, we're talking, if you want someone to maybe grow into becoming a number 2 starter in your rotation, it's him. Tanner Houck, I'm sorry, he's not going to start. He just had major back surgery. Like, we're talking a guy, how much can you even depend on him in the bullpen next year? I think that plays into the Whitlock equation, where he may not be, they said he'll be ready for spring training, but coming off something like that, who knows? I think you do need a young arm in there you can lean on. But outside of that, Nick York, who I love, if it's for the right guy, it's for the right guy. Everything else, you built up this depth for a reason. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
The Marlins have all these arms. Like, hey, the Yankees couldn't get a deal done for Pablo Lopez. Can you?
Maybe.
Those are the calls you need to make here, and flip those prospects. Do what you have to do. But, looking at free agency, we know it's a lot of older arms. It's DeGrom. It's Justin Verlander. I don't think Verlander is going to come here. DeGrom, everyone already has him penciled for Atlanta. Who knows where he's actually going to end up? But do I think the Red Sox are going to go invest in one of those guys? Probably not, considering their age.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of pitchers going to hit the market. Ugh.
It's not fun.
It's not a good year for starters.
And trading for starting pitching is very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
What's Clevenger's deal? Is he pitching again or no?
Yeah,
he is. He feels like the kind of guy the Red Sox would go after, because not that the stock is horrendous or anything, but has he been the same guy he was with Cleveland? Not exactly. Do you hope you can get him back to what he used to be now that he has a season under his belt again?
I can make.
What's that smile on your face, Jared?
Because
what do you got on Sunshine?
I get that a lot. Yeah, that's my dude. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Do you know if he likes Boston? He a Boston guy?
He's a want to compete guy.
It sounds like Boston's competing next year.
It's supposed to be way better, I heard.
Should pass that along to him.
Yeah, I can let him know.
Wow, he's going to be 32 next year.
Yeah, time flies.
Same age as Waka.
That's crazy.
That doesn't isn't that like break your brain?
Not compute at all.
1 year younger than Waka, sorry.
If you were going to sign Clevenger, though, wouldn't that kind of clash with trading for Fernando Tatis Jr.?
A little bit. That would. Coley would not like that.
Mm.
Was that Coley's proposal that they trade for Fernando Tatis?
Yeah. Basically, like the premise was that they hate him in San Diego, and Clev was one of the most outspoken guys. So I was like, well, how are you gonna bring in Tatis if Clev is here? Based on that logic.
Listen, I don't want to get too crazy here. What about Shohei Ohtani?
What?
What about Shohei Ohtani?
That would cost so much. I think Chaim would faint. I do think Chaim would faint for that prospect capital.
It would cost my dick, because my dick would fall off if they got Shohei Ohtani.
But like, you bring Ohtani here, like, what can anybody ever say? Like, no one could say a word to Chaim for like a hot minute. No matter what. Even if the team probably wasn't that good, it's like, he got you Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a couple guys. I think Carlos Rodon sticks out to me.
Doesn't
that's
he have
a
an
guy
option?
who I think has. Yeah, it's a player option, correct?
Not sure.
I assume he's not going to probably pick it up because of the year he's having over there. because he had to hit it like an innings total or something, I think, to activate it. I'm expecting him as someone who's going to, if you want a dog, you want someone who has some special stuff, especially from the left side. He pops, and he's shown he can stay healthy now.
We'll see.
I was pissed they didn't go after him when he was hanging out there during the offseason. Imagine you threw him into this rotation.
I mean, they'd still probably be in last place if we're being honest.
Yeah, it'd be more fun, though. Maybe fourth place.
They could be in fourth place.
That'd be cool.
They would be in the
290. Oh.
Dare to dream, fellas.
Look at that. 27 starts this year, 292 ERA, 234 FIP.
Wow. Can you believe it?
Shoulder looks pretty good to me these days.
Yeah.
He'd have the highest WAR on the Red Sox right now as well.
Would he?
He would. 5.2 F4.
Well, I don't really think there's many other stories, right? No.
It always stuns me how long this podcast can go, seemingly talking about not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
I don't know. How did we do
We
3
did
hours
3
last time?
hours last episode.
Do you really?
The Red Sox sweep one series, and we're like, we gotta fucking milk this as much as
Load
we
up.
possibly can.
Bob went off tonight.
Never know when we'll be back here, boys.
Didn't
3
Bob
for
have a
4
big
with the
night?
dinger?
Yeah. Get him up. Call up Bob.
Abraham Almonte? That doesn't do anything for you?
That was a tough at bat there in the 9th.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, that was tough.
I will say, get Jerry's Familia off my team, please.
Yeah.
Well, what, Jared? I'm happy. I saw that tweet, and it actually did make me feel a little bit better when you said, "Get the fuck out of here." Or what? Him, Bizzardo. I'm willing to give a little more time, but that leash is also getting a little shorter after.
What did
I don't
say?
know why the Red Sox feel the need to make him go multiple innings. Just keep him at 1 inning. He's throwing 94 with his fastball. Do you really think he's someone who can go out there for 2 or 3? He got hit when he went 2 or 3 in AAA. Keep it to 1 inning. The breaking ball is good.
I think I tweeted Familia is useless. And then people, it got so many like retweets and likes that it went beyond baseball Twitter. And people were like, family's all we got, man. You can't be saying stuff like that. Like, you'll regret it someday. I hope that if you're having a problem with your mother or your father, your brother, your sister, that you patch things up, man, because family at the end of the day, it's all we got. I was like, no. Jerice.
Jerry's Familia will make me kill my family.
Jesus.
It's the reality. It's just the truth. Take your 4.82 ERA. I don't need it. I don't want it. Your 1.3 whip. Get the fuck out of my face. Take Ryan Brazier with you. Get me some fun up here. I want Frank German. I want AJ Paletti. Give me something to root for, something to be excited for. Because all I'm living for is these young guys at this point. That's it. Triston Casas walking in the 9th. My World Series.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
That's it.
All I'm living for are these herbal cigs. I'll be honest.
Are they great?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Once it
Are you
hits your
smoking more,
lungs,
Jared?
So
With
good.
the current situation?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just I bought a weed box today, like to hold on my weed in it. You can see it in the background right there.
Well, that's like a.
Oh, is it hold on.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Is it the lit box, Pete? You can't hear me. I got one of those. Ooh.
I'm very excited about it. It's very fancy.
Oh.
You got like a little thing.
Is that a strap?
It is, and it comes with a little rolling tray as the lid.
This
Pretty
is
dope.
high class.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Well, you can smell the tobacco.
Jared's rolling his cigs.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's get a light up. This is what we're
Yeah.
going to do. We're going to start smoking during the pod now.
Yeah.
I can get down with this.
I don't know
Why
if I
not?
have a lighter
Let me
in
get-
here, but
Let me get my ashtray first.
Are we just gonna start smoking?
yeah, I mean, listen. It is what it is. It's September baseball. The Red Sox are not playing for anything. Right now, they're just holding auditions. That's all this is. That's all this is. Jake, how do you feel tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it's the first time I haven't really felt anything after a loss.
Mhm.
I feel like winning the series was going to be the only way I was still going to give a shit, but that didn't happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's just fun to watch the new
The
guys
2022
at
Red
this
Sox
point.
have done this to me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Your next move has got to be getting one of these. It's like one of these little fancy things.
What is that? Fuck.
Oh,
What is that?
It's like a fancy little holder.
Oh. I mean, I
High
like
class
it.
shit.
I might just honestly like buy a real pack of cigarettes and then put these in there.
What a move.
Yeah, people are going to be like, you're so edgy, dude. We're like, yeah. I'm burning it down all day.
Burning it down.
I'm going to have to. Do you think that they sell ashtrays at Target? They have
Yeah,
to.
probably,
No?
yeah.
you can turn anything into an ashtray.
It's not wrong, but
Just buy a plate.
There's definitely
Or you
homeless
could buy an
people yelling
ashtray.
outside my apartment right now.
what'd you say?
About ashtrays?
I don't know what they're yelling about. I think they're yelling about fucking putting Garrett Whitlock in the rotation.
That really bothered you, huh?
Not as much as these people, apparently. They're screaming.
As a Garrett Whitlock rotation person, I have concerns these days considering his hip is not getting better.
Breaking news. I'm going fishing with Garrett Whitlock on Monday.
What the fuck?
Are you going to talk to him about the rotation versus the bullpen?
No, I'm going to probably smoke a cigarette and catch some fish.
Is this for Nesson?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. I haven't been fishing since I was like 9 years old. But I'm going to just go to my Bass Pro shop, get some suspenders, a bucket hat. I'm just going to fire up a dart and catch some fish with Garrett Whitlock. Just a couple of country boys.
Just living the dream.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
In
You
the
ever fish,
ocean?
Pete? I don't know where the fuck we're going. Like an hour and a half away. I don't know. You fish, Pete?
I don't. I have before, but I don't particularly care for it.
Why not?
It's a good question.
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
great. It's just you and the waves.
I'm a big boat guy. I'll watch people fish, but I don't want to actually do the fishing.
You like to watch people fish?
Yeah. Like I'll be on the aux cord and I'll sit there and drink a beer and watch people fish. That's cool with me.
Sounds way better.
I don't think Garrett drinks.
At all?
Yeah, I don't think so. There's a couple guys like that. Jaron Duran, I'm pretty sure he's like never had alcohol.
That's psychotic to me.
Yeah. Nothing. I know players that like don't drink during the season. Like JD doesn't drink at all during the season.
It's a Tom Brady thing, right?
Maybe. But yeah. That's a I would probably feel the same. Especially now. Like I don't. Like I barely drink during the season. Because like
I mean, it's a fucking grind, man. Like,
yeah. Why do
it's
that
a
to yourself?
grind.
You have to play every single day. You want to start your day off with a hangover? No.
And you're traveling so much. Like,
I also feel like anytime you see a video of a player puking viral on the field, the first thing that comes to my mind is this dude was like slamming bears the night before.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
yeah, I could definitely see myself being like that. If that's like
The
no, I'm
outfielder
not saying the
that throws
puking. I'm
up.
not saying the puking. I'm saying like the no drinking thing, just based off of like it's easy to let things get away from you, and like if that's your job and like you're constantly putting yourself under stress playing every day and traveling and like being on the road, it's very easy to slip into bad habits on the road.
Yeah.
So I could see myself being like, I'm not drinking at all.
That's how, I don't know how like the WWE guys do it. Like maybe there's less of that now, but for sure back in like the 80s and 90s, like those guys were just like slamming beers on the road and then going to do a wrestling show. And then they got to like wake up in the morning to get a lift in and then putting steroids in their ass and then drinking 20 beers. It's crazy. I guess that's why like a lot of them are fucking dead by 50. Like, I don't think
like
my
the
body
fact
can
they're
take
being
that.
like fed opiates and like painkillers
Yeah,
because
and
their bodies are just getting destroyed night in and night out.
imagine having like a hangover and part of your job is to get hit in the fucking head with steel steps.
I mean,
Start drinking every day.
any job that requires you to work like weird hours, like overnight hours, or like do a ton of travel and a ton of like physical labor, there's a really good chance that you're going to get fucked up on like something, whether it's like boozing every night, taking pills, like drugs, like all that shit. You're going to develop some sort of like fucked up tendency. Happens all the time. Like you even hear about like people who are like chefs and work in kitchens and stuff. There's a huge drug problem for people who work in kitchens because like you work weird hours, you get off really late at night, and like you're coming off of like an intense night, and to wind down, you get fucked up or you do drugs, and like that's your come down, and you just get fucking dependent on that, and you develop addictions. Happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm addicted to herbal cigs.
That's right.
That's how I come down. Fucking watching that West Coast baseball. It's
Weird
basically
hours.
the same thing as Vietnam out there. And I'm just
Jesus.
I mean, it is wild. Like even for me, like in the playoffs and stuff, when hockey finishes, like a West Coast game finishes, and you're all jacked up, and you're like, I can't fucking sleep after that. What am I supposed to do?
herbal cigarettes.
That's right. That shit's magic.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had one yet, but I can only imagine.
That's how you do it. That's how you come down. Shall we look ahead?
Let's do it.
Stop and Shop look ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Red Sox are playing the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
Day after. We're off tomorrow?
We are.
Fuck yeah. Red Sox are off tomorrow. What am I going to do?
Not suffer.
What do you do on a Red Sox off day? We'll talk about that after the Stop and Shop look ahead. Brian Bayo versus Austin Voth. What the fuck is that? Austin Voth is starting for the Orioles against Brian Bayo. Michael Wacha versus Jordan Lyles, and then Rich Hill versus Kyle. And I believe we had this discussion last time, Tyler. Is it Bradish or Bradish? It's Bradish.
Correct.
It's Bradish. Kyle Bradish. The Red Sox are 5-7 with a negative 12 run differential against the Orioles this year. Austin Voth. He's 4-2 with a 2.71 ERA, a 1.17 WHIP, and a 7.9 strikeouts per nine. Came over from the Nationals, where he struggled out of the bullpen this year. A 10.13 ERA and 18 2/3 innings in 19 games for the Nats. He's been a lot better for the O's, though. You know that O's pitching lab always be doing it to him. He's appeared in 17 games for the Orioles and has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any appearance. He has only allowed 3 earned runs twice. His 3.56 FIP with the Orioles would be his best for any season of his entire career. He came up in 2018. His fastball, it's all right. It's like call it 94, 263 batting average against, 452 slug. He doesn't really have a best pitch Everything is just pretty average, which is fine. If that works, that's great. The Orioles are 11-5 when he pitches. Red Sox hitters, 9 for 25, 3 doubles, 3 homers. Trevor Story, Rafael Devers, and Xander Bogaerts all have the homers. No Devers, no Bogaerts in the lineup tonight for the loss. The Red Sox were shut out for the first time since May 30th. Bogaerts with the back spasms, right?
Yeah, Cora was saying, though, he believes with the day off and everything, he should be back Friday.
Beautiful. All right. Jordan Lyles, 10-9, a 4.25 ERA with a 1.44 whip and a 7.3 strikeouts per 9. Lyles, he's 31. He has a career ERA of 5.10 and a 4.67 FIP. He's allowed the most hits in the American League this year with 172. He allowed the most earned runs in the American League last year with 103 and the most home runs with 38. This guy sucks. Lyles has actually led the American League in earned runs the past 2 seasons. This year, he is in a comfy 5th in the American League, trailing Jose Barrios by 13. He's faced the Red Sox 3 times this year. That sounds about right. Back in April, the 19th, 4 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. Got a no decision and a Baltimore win. May 1st, 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run somehow. 6 strikeouts, got the win. May 28th, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 3 earned runs. Like, what the fuck? 9 hits, 7 hits, 9 hits. But 4 earned runs, 1 earned run, 3 earned runs.
That's what happens when you don't hit home runs.
Yeah. Got a no decision in a Red Sox win. 30 fucking base runners in 14 1/3 innings. 30 in 14 1/3 innings against the Red Sox. His fastballs fucking suck. All of them. 4-seam, sinker combined. 299, 375, 500 on base. Or no, 500 slug, 875 OPS. That's bad. Still, somehow the Orioles have a winning record. Barely. 14-13 when he starts and have won 3 straight and 7 of 8. This guy fucking sucks. How are they? That's the Orioles' demon magic. Red Sox hitters, 321, 372 on base, 481 slug. That's an 853 OPS. Tommy Pham, 5 for 12 with a double, a home run, 4 strikeouts, an 1135 OPS. Kiké, 5 for 10, a double, an 1183 OPS. And then we have Kyle Bradish. Slow start to his rookie season, Bradish. He's gotten into a little bit of a groove here. Last 8 starts, a 3.09 ERA, 4.03 FIP. The Orioles, in these 8 starts, Tyler, what would you guess the Orioles' record is for Bradish in these 8 starts?
I'll go 5-3.
7-1. 7-1. It's because the Orioles also like to score runs for this guy. 5.56 average runs per game of support for him.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Recently, he went 8 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts against the Astros. That was a big nuts performance by him. He's also faced the Red Sox 3 times this year. I feel like I bring this fucking guy up all the time. 5 2/3, 9 hits, 3 earned runs. Took the L on April 29th, 6 innings, 5 hits. 3 runs, 2 earned, only 2 strikeouts, gave up a bomb, took the L. May 27th, an inning and 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts, gave up a homer, hit 2 guys. So that's a 7.31 ERA and a 1.65 whip against the Red Sox this year. That's pretty bad. Would you agree or disagree with that, Pete?
Bad.
Fastball. Averages 95, but it fucking sucks. 339 batting average against, 565 slug. Slider, 36% whiff rate. Pretty good. Orioles, they are 12-6 when he starts. 7-1 in his last 8. Red Sox hitters, 333, a 390 on base, a 945 OPS against this guy. 6 Red Sox hitters have more than 5 plate appearances against Bradish. They all have an OPS over 1,000. So the home runs, Bogarts, Kiké, and Arroyo. Okay. That, again, that is Bayo versus Voth. That is Waka versus Lyles. That is Hill versus Bradish. Prediction time. This is in Baltimore, yeah?
Correct.
I think the Red Sox just win 1. That's how I feel.
Which one?
They have to beat Lyles. He sucks. Waka Lyles is a Red Sox dub. Yeah. So that's a sandwich. That's a sandwich series for the Red Sox. They're going to win the middle game. Peter?
I'm gonna say the exact same thing. Number 1, because that was my leaning, and number 2, who cares? Who cares?
It's fair. Tyler.
I'm going to be the positive one.
Oh,
I will be positive Paul today since Pat's dead.
right.
But any Brian Bayo day is a good day to me. I think a big part of the Rays series and why it went so horribly is there was no off day for the bullpen to reset. You actually get a reset day. You should have your arms healthy coming off of your off day Thursday. You got Michael Wacha in there as well. The Rich Hill start. Good luck. You'll see what happens there. But I think you got Michael Wacha. You got Brian Bayo, who's been pitching really well over his last 20 innings, 3.15 ERA, 2.46 FIP. I'm willing to ride those. I think we're going to get a healthy lineup. JD's back. I know he doesn't look great, but at least he's in the lineup. Xander should be back. Trevor Story's back to being the Trevor Story we were all waiting for. I think they're actually going to get their first real series win against Baltimore this time around.
Wow. That's a bold prediction.
I'm a bold person.
Summer, what do you think? Summer?
Huge fan of your dog, Pete. Huge fan.
Sounds like
huge fan of me.
Sounds like an Oriole sweep.
Sweet?
Oh my God.
Confirmed, yeah.
Confirmed. Jake, what do you got?
I think the Red Sox take all 3.
Really? You think they do any of these games go to extra innings or?
I think we wrap most of them up by the 7th.
Okay. Do you want to predict the Clark's Catch-Up Series MVP?
Give it to Casas.
That right field wall.
Summer hates that pick.
It's absolutely. It's just like, Jake, what a fucking moron. All right.
Please apologize, Jake.
Yeah, she just hates that one.
Hates that pick. All right. What did I say? What did I say we were gonna do before?
Oh, what we do during a Red Sox off day.
Red Sox off day. What are we gonna do?
What do you do?
I just watch other baseball games.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
I do literally anything else in the world. Does not affect me one bit.
Yeah. Jake, what do you do?
I just play GameCube all day.
GameCube?
Yeah, brother.
What game?
Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Classics.
Yeah.
Damn. Maybe I'll
Oh, yeah,
buy
brother.
like an Xbox or something this offseason.
Don't you have a PlayStation?
Yeah, it's not hooked up.
Get a
though.
PC.
Oh, well, you think you're going to buy the Xbox and it's just hooked up?
Get a PC,
figure
brother.
something out.
Dude, stay with the PlayStation.
Why
Play
not
a little
both?
show, a little of the show.
Well, now that I'm gonna use that virtual reality thing.
That's the key. I need some live streams with that, Jared, please.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure that someone is there to film me doing it.
Is this the one where you can like make yourself face actual pitchers?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I
Oh
believe
my
so.
God.
Right, Jake?
Yeah, I think we should record what you're seeing and then have a side-by-side video of you actually doing it in your apartment.
Oh, yeah. You have to have that. Yeah.
It would be so good.
I don't know. I mean, should I wait for you to like be there, Jake? Because I don't know how to do any of that shit.
Me and Jake have to get you on Twitch like full time this off season.
Doing what?
Whatever you want.
You got
there's
virtual?
there's a Halloween game.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might do that. I'd be down for that, I guess.
Is that the one from a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
I'd be down for that. I think it'd be cool.
Would definitely be cool. I love video games.
All right. I'll check it out.
You look like you just got really sad thinking about the off season.
I did, yeah, because I'm like, man, I just hope I find something to keep me busy.
Yeah, you have concerning off-season tweets. I'm not ready for those.
I have concerning off-season behavior, tweets, thoughts.
Just lean on the cigs. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm going to be huffing darts all off-season long.
Hell yeah, brother. Shut up.
All right, we'll be back on Monday morning after a super exciting Red Sox series against the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, by the time the next episode drops, I'll be riding the waves with Garrett Whitlock, just casting a line, smoking cigs, and talking about life. That's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Keep his hips safe, please.
Of course. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Jake's takes?
I just want to say keep September 23rd on the calendar. It's coming right up.
Yeah. September 23rd at the Cask. I haven't even tweeted about it yet. I should do that. Have them make me a graphic and I'll tweet about it. I figure like every time that we bring it up, it's usually at the end of the podcast where like most people probably didn't even make it this far anyway. But maybe some people did. I don't know. But I'll throw a tweet out. Be like, hey, September 23rd. It's coming up. September 23rd. We're doing a little watch party. Red Sox, Yankees, cask and flagging.
I'm going to be out in society being an actual person.
Tyler will be there. Jake will be there. Pete has a wedding. Coley will be there.
We're trying to get Pat sober to show up.
Pat might be there. It's going to be a good time. So we'll see you there. And we'll also see you on Monday.
Buenas noches, amigos.